Team Financial, Sport Clips, Tires Plus, Bismarck LASIK, First Western Bank and Trust, Jobbers Moving and Storage, The Medicine Shop, Hub International Insurance, The Chuppy Clinic, and Prairie Rose Family Dentists.
The best part about working at BNC National Bank is developing relationships.
I love working with people.
We've been here for over 25 years.
We've grown just like our communities we're in.
But we still have that personal connection with our customers.
And that's why we can find the best solutions for them.
It feels great seeing projects around the community and knowing we're a small part of making that happen.
We're helping people buy their first homes.
Plan for the future.
From startups to big business.
We're part of the community.
And we're proud of it.
Yours truly, BNC.
If your eyes could talk, they'd tell you life is better with LASIK. No more reaching for your glasses. No more dry eye from overwearing your contact lenses. Right now, Bismarck LASIK is offering free consultations for LASIK procedures. Break free from the daily hassles and expenses of glasses and contacts. Life is clearly better. Book your free consultation today with Bismarck LASIK and see the difference. Call 222-2020 or schedule online at bismarcklasik.com.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Memories never fade, especially from a high school rivalry game. Hi, I'm Brock Shook with First Western Bank and Trust. Throughout school sports history, the familiar names and faces may change, but legacies live on, achievements remembered. As your community bank, First Western Bank and Trust celebrates your victories with you. We want to wish all the local teams good luck in their athletic endeavors this season. Be safe on the court, field, rink, and in the gym. First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You remember where this goes?
I don't know.
Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zoom, zoom?
I think your quash litter valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance? If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Inspections are free to ensure your vehicle is always in peak condition.
Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
The North Dakota Safety Council is dedicated to preventing injuries and saving lives by offering hundreds of safety courses. The NDSC helps workers return home safely every night and make sure schools are ready for any emergency. Our first aid training and defensive driving courses help save lives. We empower people through personal protection courses and operational risk assessments for businesses. We're a private, nonprofit organization committed to making North Dakota's homes, schools, communities, workplaces, and roads the safest in the nation. Learn more at ndsc.org.
At Schatz Crossroads, we make 8 gallons of homemade ranch dressing every day, so you can smother your dinner salad with it, dip those crispy golden French fries in it, and dunk your breaded chicken strips. You can even cover your... Wait, no. You can't put ranch on steak. Or can you? Schatz Crossroads. Don't forget the ranch.
This broadcast presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by BNC National Bank, Planning Team Financial, Sport Clips, Tires Plus, Bismarck LASIK, First Western Bank and Trust, Jobbers Moving and Storage, The Medicine Shop, Hub International Insurance, The Chuppy Clinic, and Prairie Rose Family Dentists.
It's time for Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. Let's go live to the stadium in Bismarck, North Dakota. It's time for Overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Well, thank you once again, Nick Hallberg, and good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. Glad to have you aboard this morning on the PSP Network. A sunny Saturday morning here in the capital city as we are live from the Stadium Lodge here. And again, lots of football coming up today, our NFL football on the docket. And certainly if you're looking for a place to take in some of those NFL games, make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon, as that first game starting at 3:30 is Danny and the staff. Certainly will take care of you up here today. Lots of food special, or not food, drink specials going on, and full-service menu, lots of TVs, lots of room to take in that Raiders-Bengals game at 3:30, and then the night game, which is going to be a chilly one up in Orchard Park as the Buffalo Bills host the New England Patriots. So should be a good day, good afternoon of football, good weekend of football. Actually, coming up tomorrow, you're going to get the Eagles and the Buccaneers, the Cowboys and the Niners. That should be a fun game. And then the Steelers and the Chiefs, and then they extend the wild card into Monday, as it'll be the Cardinals and the Los Angeles Rams. So lots of football as a chilly, cool, sunny Saturday morning. But again, always glad to have you aboard on the PSP Network with Overtime with Scott Woodmansee as we roll into another week. Lots of high school basketball this past week on the PSP Network, and certainly a lot more to come. And a game you heard last night, Todd Domerty's Chuck Claremont with the call for you from Shiloh Christian. A big win there in overtime as Shiloh knocks out Beulah by a score of 76-68 to overtime. Game tied at 64, and then Shiloh just extended things and outlasted the Beulah Miners by a score of 76-68. As now we can turn our attention last night in the West region on the boys' side of things. Only a couple of games on the docket last night. It was Mandan and Watford City. Mandan winning that one 76-50. Bismarck High over the Dickinson Midgets 105-65. So the way that looks now, as far as the standings are concerned, Century leading the way at 8-1, Minot High at 7-1, Bismarck High 7-1, Legacy in at 5-4, St. Mary's at 4-4, Mandan 5-5, and then logjam towards the bottom. Turtle Mountain, Jamestown at 3-5, Dickinson at 3-6, Williston 2-7, and Watford City 0-8. So boy, I tell you what, it certainly sets up for an exciting finish here in the West region. Games on the docket today. Watford City will make the trip down to Jamestown. That'll be a 3:30 tip there. Turtle Mountain in town to take on the Demons. Williston will be at Minot. That was rescheduled from January 14th. And speaking of some of those games, let's take a look at what we have on the store for you this morning on Overtime. We'll talk, been a couple weeks since we talked with Rick Newman. Big win last night for the Marauders. We'll visit with him, and then we'll go up to the Magic City, talk with the head coach of the Minot High boys basketball team, Dean WINCZEWSKI. And then we'll drop down Highway 83 a little bit. We'll talk with the head coach of the Garrison Troopers girls basketball team, Matt Chase. His team undefeated, ranked in the most recent Class B girls basketball poll. That turns us into our 11 o'clock hour. Then we'll have a couple special guests. We'll get a chance to talk with Logan NISSLEY from Century High School, and also TREYSON EAGLESTAFF from Bismarck High, and we'll round out the show as we'll talk with the head coach of the UMARY men's basketball team. That will be Jack Nelson. That will round out our show here this afternoon. As you look at the upcoming week for high school basketball, a couple of big games coming up on Tuesday, and we'll have one of those for you right here on the PSP Network, as Minot will be in town to take on the Century Patriots. That will be a 7:30 tip, by right around 7:10 pregame for you right here on the PSP Network. And another game that Tuesday, another crosstown rivalry, Legacy and Bismarck High, as things certainly start to get interesting in the West Region side of things. As the battle for number one, it's going to go down to a wire, and then we can tell you the quick turnaround on the boys' side is coming up next Friday already, the 21st. It will be Century at Bismarck High, and we'll have both those for you right here on the PSP Network. Also coming up Monday, we're going to take the show on the road again, as we're going to go up to Wilton Wing. We'll have Center Stanton Wilton Wing for you as well coming up Monday night on the PSP Network, as we take a look at the girls basketball side of things in the West Region. Century obviously flexing their muscle there as they remain undefeated at 8-0 and top ranked in the most recent Class A girls basketball poll. In action last night, St. Mary's, they picked up their second win of the year. They knocked off Turtle Mountain 71-56. It was Mandan over Watford City 78-35. And then Bismarck High knocked off Dickinson by a score of 62-40. The only action coming up there today will be Watford City will be on the road to take on Jamestown, and Turtle Mountain will turn around and take on Bismarck High. That'll be a 2 o'clock tip for you coming up this afternoon. And upcoming schedule on the girls' side, Century, a big game there. Century will travel up to take on Minot in a West Region girls battle. We take a look at the standings, and speaking of Century and Minot, Century in at 8-0, Minot High in at 7-1, Bismarck High 6-1, Legacy 5-3, Jamestown 4-4, Mandan 4-5, and then St. Mary's and Turtle Mountain both at 2-6, and then Dickinson and Watford City at 1-7. So a battle for the West Region title, as Century right now holds the top spot, but they will go on the road to take on Minot High this Tuesday up in the Magic City. As we take a look on the West Region hockey front on that side of things, I know it was a Bismarck Century rival game this last week, and well, Century still continues to struggle on that side, but we can tell you on Thursday, it was Century picking up win number 2 as they defeated Hazen Buell 10-1. There was no games last night. Dickinson over Mandan 3-1. Williston comes to town and knocks off Bismarck High 4-3. And then that Legacy at Bottineau rugby game was postponed today. On the hockey front, Century making the trip up to take on the Williston Coyotes, and Bismarck High will be at Bottineau rugby, and then Minot will be in Jamestown this afternoon. As you take a look at the standings on the West Region side of things on the hockey front, Minot High leading the way 7-0-2, Jamestown 8-2-1-0. Bismarck High in at third at 6-3-0-1. Legacy 4-5-2-0. Williston right behind them at 4-5-1-0. Mandan 4-6-1-0. Bottineau Rugby 4-3-0-1. And Century, Dickinson 2-5-2-1. And Century on the bottom half of that 2-4-0-2. And then Hazen Buell yet to win on the season. So certainly not something that Troy Olson is accustomed to when it comes to West Region hockey, but again, we had a chance to talk with him last week, and it's certainly a year that they are trying to get things back on track up at Century. So we'll continue to follow that as well. As also Bismarck State College, the women knocked off this week up in Williston, as there was about a 13 or 14 game win streak that was stopped there. And let's take a look at the on the swimming and diving side of things. I know some meets got canceled. The Fargo-Davies duels were canceled. Minot at Jamestown were postponed. But leading the way, as you take a look at as far as places that these teams have taken, Bismarck High a third. Century has got second, fourth for Dickinson, a couple of, and then Minot High with 3 first. So that's always as they turn their inch closer to that state swim meet. Always an exciting time when you get down to that state swim meet, and that swim meet will be held at the end of the year down in Fargo. But nonetheless, the high school sports continue to roll on. I know that in some areas of the state, the Omicron variant running a little rampant, and let's just hope that as we near the tournament time of the year that we don't run into the same issue we did a couple years ago, as certainly that would put a damper on high school sports in North Dakota, as we hope that we can get to those state tournaments and do the things that and crown our state champions like we have in the past. As we said as well, the most recent Class A and Class B boys basketball poll, and then perusing social media last night. Boy, I tell you what, Four Winds Minnewakan's got a couple of young kids up there, dang, and excuse me, had a couple of pretty impressive dunks last night in their victory last night. But as we look at the most recent Class B boys basketball poll, it is none other than Four Winds Minnewakan leading the way at 5-0. Kindred in at number 2 at 6-1. North Border in at number 3. Enderlin in at number 4. Flasher moved up 2 spots as they are undefeated at 9-0 as they were in the 7th spot last week. Ellendale in at 6-0. They were in that A spot. They moved up a couple spots. Hillsborough Central Valley dropped as they were in the 3rd spot last week. They dropped all the way down to number 7. And that was who I believe Four Winds Minnewakan knocked off last night. Central Cass and Powers Lake found their way into the poll as they were not ranked last week. Central Cass at 8, Powers Lake at 9. And then Dunseith dropped down from 6 to 10 as they are in that 10 spot. Other teams that were receiving some votes in the most recent poll for this week was Lemoore, Litchfield, Marion, Thompson, Hazen. The Hazen Bison coming out of nowhere as they had a big win over Beulah. Beulah also receiving votes. Bowman County 5-1, North Star in at 7-0. We take a look at the girls basketball poll. Kindred in at 11-0, undefeated number 1. Four Winds Minnewakan in at 2. Central Cass moved up to 3 from the 4 spot as they're 7-1. Rugby at 10-0 as well as they moved up from 1 spot from 5 to 4. Grafton, they've dropped a couple. They're 6-2. They went from 3 to 5. Linton HMB remains in that 6th slot. Garrison, we'll talk with their head coach, Matt Chase. Garrison moves up from 9 to 7 as they are undefeated at 9-0. Edgeley Calm Montpelier at 10-0. They moved up a couple of spots as they were in that 10 spot last week. And then followed by Thompson at 9 and Shiloh Christian in at 7. Others receiving votes, Bowman County again, Lemoore, Litchfield, Marion were the only other 2 teams receiving votes. And I can tell you after this last week, one team that's going to receive from some votes from one of our media outlets is the Standing Rock Warriors. As I know my colleague Todd Domry's impressed with them, as you heard him and Cole Higlin having the call there. So I'm guessing the Standing Rock Warriors are going to garner a couple votes coming up this week in the most recent, in this week's Class B boys basketball poll. So congratulations to those teams, as it'll be a wild one as we get down to tournament time. And boy, it just seems like it was yesterday it started, and it's not far away. But tournaments are coming up right around the corner, and stay tuned to all of our social media of the PSP network, and we'll keep you up to date as what you'll be able to watch tournament time coming up on the PSP network, as we've got some exciting things coming for you at the end of March. We'll take our first time out. We come back. We'll talk with the head coach of the UMARY Lady Marauders, Rick Newman, back with more on Overtime with Scott Woodmansee after this timeout.
This broadcast presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by BNC National Bank, Planning Team Financial, Sport Clips, Tires Plus, Bismarck LASIK, First Western Bank and Trust, Jobbers Moving and Storage, The Medicine Shop, Hub International Insurance, The Chuppy Clinic, and Prairie Rose Family Dentists.
The best part about working at BNC National Bank is developing relationships.
I love working with people.
We've been here for over 25 years.
We've grown just like our communities we're in.
But we still have that personal connection with our customers.
And that's why we can find the best solutions for them.
It feels great seeing projects around the community and knowing we're a small part of making that happen.
We're helping people buy their first homes.
Plan for the future.
From startups to big business.
We're part of the community.
And we're proud of it.
Yours truly, BNC.
If your eyes could talk, they'd tell you life is better with LASIK. No more reaching for your glasses. No more dry eye from overwearing your contact lenses. Right now, Bismarck LASIK is offering free consultations for LASIK procedures. Break free from the daily hassles and expenses of glasses and contacts. Life is clearly better. Book your free consultation today with Bismarck LASIK and see the difference. Call 222-2020 or schedule online at bismarcklasik.com.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Memories never fade, especially from a high school rivalry game. Hi, I'm Brock Shook with First Western Bank and Trust. Throughout school sports history, the familiar names and faces may change, but legacies live on, achievements remembered. As your community bank, First Western Bank and Trust celebrates your victories with you. We want to wish all the local teams good luck in their athletic endeavors this season. Be safe on the court, field, rink, and in the gym. First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You remember where this goes?
I don't know.
Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zoom, zoom?
I think your quash litter valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance? If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Inspections are free to ensure your vehicle is always in peak condition.
Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
The North Dakota Safety Council is dedicated to preventing injuries and saving lives by offering hundreds of safety courses. The NDSC helps workers return home safely every night and make sure schools are ready for any emergency. Our first aid training and defensive driving courses help save lives. We empower people through personal protection courses and operational risk assessments for businesses. We're a private, nonprofit organization committed to making North Dakota's homes, schools, communities, workplaces, and roads the safest in the nation. Learn more at ndsc.org.
At Shots Crossroads, we make 8 gallons of homemade ranch dressing every day, so you can smother your dinner salad with it, dip those crispy golden French fries in it, and dunk your breaded chicken strips. You can even cover your... Wait, no. You can't put ranch on steak. Or can you? Shots Crossroads. Don't forget the ranch.
This broadcast presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by BNC National Bank, Planning Team Financial, Sport Clips, Tires Plus, Bismarck LASIK, First Western Bank and Trust, Jobbers Moving and Storage, The Medicine Shop, Hub International Insurance, The Chuppy Clinic, and Prairie Rose Family Dentists.
Remember where this goes?
I don't know.
Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zoom, zoom?
I think your quash litter valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance? If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Inspections are free to ensure your vehicle is always in peak condition.
Thinking service? Think Tires
Part about
Plus.
working at BNC National Bank is developing relationships.
I love working with people.
We've been here for over 25 years.
We've grown just like our communities we're in.
But we still have that personal connection with our customers.
And that's why we can find the best solutions for them.
It feels great seeing projects around the community and knowing we're a small part of making that happen.
We're helping people buy their first homes.
Plan for the future.
From startups to big business.
We're part of the community.
And we're proud of it.
Yours truly, BNC.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
It's time for Overtime
Memories never fade.
with Scott Woodmansee. Let's go live to the stadium.
back to the stadium.
And Overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Oops, wrong bumper there as we already played the intro. Let's play the bump in as we are back live from the Stadium Lodge. Glad to have you aboard here on the PSP Network, and we efforted our first guest. We finally caught him. I know he's busy. He's probably still flying high off of that win last night, a big win at home for the UMARY Marauders, and Rick Newman joining me on the phone right now. Coach, good morning. How are you this morning?
Hey, Woody, I am doing great. You are right. Riding high is an appropriate phrase for today.
Well, let's Newmy. I guess before we talk about that a little bit, I mean, let's go back to the last couple of weeks, whether you want to or not. I'm sure that it's something that you don't want to do, but nonetheless, that's kind of how the way we roll here. But certainly, it's a situation where, you guys, spend a little bit of time on the road, which we all know you have to do in the Northern Sun. And, boy, I tell you what, you come back and a much needed win last night against Wayne State. You dropped a couple last week and you had a game canceled at Minot State. But, I mean, talk about, the past couple weeks and what that ride's been like for you.
Well, it's one of those where you got to try to keep some perspective, Woody, because obviously our nation and our world are dealing with, a pandemic. And as it trickles down to athletics now, again, you're still seeing just a ton of cancellations of games and protocols changing from one day to the next with the NCAA and then each individual league and how they're adjusting their policies to try to make sure we have a good student athlete experience and keep everybody as safe as we can. And then you're just seeing it affect the Northern Sun at a level that I don't think anyone anticipated. I mean, we've lost more games on the men's and women's side this year than we did all last year. And last year was the one we were prepared to lose, and we shortened the season. You know what I mean? And so for us, It's been, everyone's going through it. So it isn't oh, poor UMARY. But the difficult part is that, unfortunately, it looks like this season, again, will be defined by COVID. And it will be, who did you have? When did you play? When didn't you play? Who didn't you play? Where didn't you play? And it really has hit us hard in the last couple of weeks on both sides of the equation. We went into Christmas break with 2 huge home wins, got right back in the race, right in the middle of 3rd, 4th, 5th place in the NSIC North, come out of Christmas and have a great game against Valley City State that we purposely scheduled to try to get our legs back before we return to conference play. We roll them by 50. We've got 3 games in a row. We're excited. We got the team up north returning to our place. We know we're good. We're playing really well. Oh, that game's canceled the morning of. All the preparation, all the work, you don't get to play it. Then you got to sit out.
I mean, hey, Rick, before you go into more of that, I mean, and you talked about, just the fact of, you're going to have more canceled. And I mean, how hard is that? I mean, right now where you think gosh, maybe we're through this, and then all of a sudden now here we go again, and you got to deliver that message to the ladies that morning of a game, and particularly against a rival to the north.
Yeah, it's extremely emotional. I mean, hey, just like I got a million moms and dads and buddies that sit in the crowd and they want to talk about, hey, do you think you guys should maybe do like a 2-2-1 press, or could you do this? And I'm like, guys, I wish I had time to talk about X's and O's with you, but this is on a daily basis. You're dealing with the emotional welfare of your team and your coaching staff and yourself as a head coach. And you're trying to just manage this thing on a daily basis with your trainer and with the league and with your administration about, hey, this is what's coming down the road. Here's who we have today. Here's what I heard is going on down in Sacramento, and they might not be able to play. The toll of it is, let's just say this, Woody. I think there's a lot of colleagues, including myself included, that if this becomes the standard way of life, I think I'm going to find myself watching Grace and Emma and Grant Newman play Saturday afternoon travel ball a lot quicker than I had anticipated a few years ago, because it's just, it's frustrating. But it's exciting when you do get to play. But it's an emotional roller coaster. And, kids, even college kids, right, they thrive on routine. And that's what we try to do as coaches, is provide that routine. This is practice. This is training. This is breakfast. This is shoot around. This is game time. And when that routine gets disrupted, it's the teams that handle that the best that usually, persevere and overcome that adversity. But on the flip side, there's just so much of it that it's asking a lot. And so I give our team credit. Even as we kind of fast forward. So, if we get back to that, so then obviously we have a regular week of practice, but then, Minot State continues to be out that following weekend. So unfortunately for us, we go on the road, and we're the only team then that both of those teams get to play. So they get a full week to just prep for us. And Minot State's good. We're both good this year. So you got to play to beat us both if you're going to beat us. And, unfortunately, we play, we're one team. It's hard enough to win on the road, let alone when you're going and playing 2 games, and that's the one game that everyone gets there. And so, we hadn't played for like 13 days ourselves then, and we went down to Sioux Falls, and 54-54 at the 4-minute mark of the fourth quarter, and then the wheels just fall off. And then the next day, heck, then we leave, then you throw in just the normal stuff that happens, Woody. We're a little ways out of Sioux Falls, and our bus starts, smoking on the inside. And we got to pull over in an 80-mile-an-hour biblical wind and get our hats and hoodies on and wait and see if the bus is going to blow up, And then we get into Marshall late. Then you get up the next morning and you're like, oh, yeah, they didn't play last night. They just watched us play, and then now we got to go. And then it comes into styles of play, Woody, and I'm not – it is what it is. I mean, I'm just happy that we got to play, but I'd have rather played anybody on the planet, I think. I think I'd have rather played Duke Blue Devils than Southwest State. I mean, they got 5-out motion, dribble, drive, run around. Our girls are tired from a competitive game the night before, and we just didn't score enough last weekend, but we played good D. I like it. And then you come back and you're like, okay, well, now classes start again. No practice Monday. You're sitting in meetings on Monday to start the university's second semester, and your phone's blowing up from your trainer. Bing, bing, bing. Oh, this girl. Symptoms. Test. Positive. Oh, geez, here we go. And so I'm not going to lie. I know coaches exaggerate, but we had 32 minutes of practice this week where we had at least 10 girls and could do anything, because our other girls then went and got their booster shot because the NCAA had new protocols. So they, including the head coach who got his booster shot, we were all worthless on Tuesday and Wednesday because we were feeling the reaction to the shot. And then we come back Thursday and we lose Riley Watcher right before practice. Like I said, it was a nightmare of a week. So last night we just pieced it together. We played all 11 girls. We got big-time contributions off our bench, 31 points. Carly Kotzik got 11 in her first ever start. And we played some really good defense again with, like I said, we didn't have the whole group together all week, but we found a way to get it done last night. I don't know what today's going to look like, Woody, but I know we last night. And I guess the final point on that is, like, I'll give our team so much credit because we certainly had within our rights based on Northern Sun protocols, where with the number of people we were absent this week because of COVID, we had every right in the world to say, hey, we're not playing this weekend. We played with one post last night. We usually play 4 in a game. We played 1, but I'll give our girls credit because when we've lost games to other teams from COVID and things, and everyone's doing the best they can, but it's super frustrating. And our girls are like, Coach, we want to play. And I'm like, yeah, I want to play too. And Dale Lennon was like, that's a great message, Coach. That's what I want to hear from you and your team. If we got enough, let's play. And I said, yeah, I don't know what it'll look like, but we're going to play. And it looked pretty good, so I'm really proud of our girls. And that's not a knock on any other team, because you have to do what's best for your program. And I'm not their coach, and I don't know, what level that they're at when it comes to all of this with losses of players and sickness and all that. So I'm not saying judging anybody else. I'm just saying I'm really proud of our team that they had a desire from the moment it started falling apart Monday with the results. They wanted to play. And so I'm really, really proud of them. And fortunately, we had enough people continue to pass protocols and kind of recover from the booster shot where we said, let's make it happen. So if we can will that spirit in them again today for a contest against a really good Augustana team, we might have a chance to come out of here continuing to defend our home court.
Well, certainly, Numi, you answered a lot of questions there with that, and I guess, the 72-60 win last night. Again, you turn around Augie today, but hey, man, I just got to tell you, I mean, kudos to what you're doing out there. I know it's got to be hard. I know it's got to be a grind, and certainly, it doesn't appear that this thing's going away anytime soon, but keep up the great work and doing what you're doing and getting those girls to come in and play night in and night out on the weekend. And, and best of luck to you this afternoon against Augie, and get 2 in the books at home, will you, tonight?
All right. Thanks, Woody. Oh, it sounds good. I'm looking forward to seeing you and talking to you a little bit more here this second semester. But as always, thanks for your coverage, and appreciate everyone in the community that came out last night for our men and our women and supported them. And if you're not doing anything, get out this afternoon and watch good Augustana basketball and good UMARY basketball, and enjoy some time at the MAC.
All right, buddy. Take care, Newman. Have a good rest of the weekend, bud.
All right. Thanks.
You bet. Rick Newman, the head coach of the UMARY women. As you heard him there, he solved it all in a nutshell, did Rick Newman, and the battle continues on the college athletic side. We'll take another timeout. We come back. We'll talk with the head coach of the Minot High Magicians, Dean WINCZEWSKI, back with more after this timeout. You're listening to Overtime on the PSP Network.
This broadcast presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by BNC National Bank, Planning Team Financial, Sport Clips, Tires Plus, Bismarck LASIK, First Western Bank and Trust, Jobbers Moving and Storage, The Medicine Shop, Hub International Insurance, The Chuppy Clinic, and Prairie Rose Family Dentists.
The best part about working at BNC National Bank is developing relationships.
I love working with people.
We've been here for over 25 years.
We've grown just like our communities we're in.
But we still have that personal connection with our customers.
And that's why we can find the best solutions for them.
It feels great seeing projects around the community and knowing we're a small part of making that happen.
We're helping people buy their first homes.
Plan for the future.
From startups to big business.
We're part of the community.
And we're proud of it.
Yours truly, BNC.
If your eyes could talk, they'd tell you life is better with LASIK. No more reaching for your glasses. No more dry eye from overwearing your contact lenses. Right now, Bismarck LASIK is offering free consultations for LASIK procedures. Break free from the daily hassles and expenses of glasses and contacts. Life is clearly better. Book your free consultation today with Bismarck LASIK and see the difference. Call 222-2020 or schedule online at bismarcklasik.com.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Let's go back to the stadium and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Welcome back to Overtime with Scott Woodmansee, live from the Stadium Lodge. Glad to have you aboard on the PSP Network. Hey, if you're looking for a place to watch some NFL football, make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon, as full-service menu specials going on, as Danny and his staff will certainly take care of you. Well, that leads us into our next guest, and joining me on the line right now, the head coach of the Minot High Magicians boys basketball team, Dean WINCZEWSKI. Good morning, Coach. How are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm starting to wonder, you said that it dealt with food and it leans into our next guest. Do I need to go on a diet or something, Scott, or what's
No, hey, that had nothing to do with you, Coach. That had nothing to do with you. I
just wanted to make sure. I feel like I look okay.
Yeah.
But, getting older, you start to stuff. Gravity is never lost, so I know that.
Hey, you're still part of the Body Beautiful category, all right? So I don't know what Body Beautiful. You don't give me a description, but nonetheless, you still are. So if that makes you feel any better.
Well, I'm glad your expectations are low. That's all that matters.
Hey, Dino, first and foremost, hey, congratulations on the great start. And boy, I tell you what, I mean, this is a team that, really in my mind, we got a first chance to see you guys up at St. Mary's, a game I'm sure that you probably have already X'd off the map. But, I mean, go back to the start of this season and knowing you had some kids back in Wentz and Dissett really that really gave you a lot of minutes last year off a team last year that really came out of nowhere. I mean, just talk about the start of this season and where you're at right now.
Well, and that's the one thing with our group. We're essentially playing 2 sophomores, 2 freshmen, and then a couple of seniors and a couple of juniors. So we knew there were going to be some growing pains. Obviously with Derek and Eric, we have a nice place to start building our team. But we knew at times we were going to have some struggles. And, St. Mary's having a ton of kids back and being as talented as they are, obviously they're a hard match and they're an extremely talented team and have a bunch of kids. And, it was one of those nights where we were sloppy and our youth showed, and their experience paid dividends for them. You take a kid like Fedorchuk and Bader and they made a ton of shots. And, you chalk it up to, okay, here's an experience. This is where we have to be. We've got to learn from it. And, what we've done, I think, as much as anybody maybe, is we've grown. I mean, we're not the same team we were, then obviously. Our kids have taken it to heart when we've tried to make changes and ask them to do different things. And it's been a fun process. And I think that's one thing that, here in Minot, we take for granted because we always have such big numbers, is that we don't have that young kids having to come in when we talk about having to replace kids. A lot of times it's juniors or a sophomore here and again, but we had low numbers with seniors, and these 2 freshmen are pretty talented, and even the sophomores, but they've been thrown into the fire and they've grown dramatically. So it's a growth process, and the thing that's most exciting for us, and we talk about it with our kids, is we're nowhere near a finished product.
Sure.
Like, we've got a lot of kids that got a lot more ability in them that are only going to get better. And so now it's just a matter of continuing to grow, get better, and continue to play together.
Dean, when you look at this team and you look at last year's team, and I know I've had conversations with you about last year's team and what a great group it was and how hard they worked, are there a lot of similarities between those 2 teams?
Well, I think a lot of it, if there's similarities, it's based in the culture that was set up by last year's group.
Sure.
They made a decision, whether it was, our seniors like Michael or Deontay or Tegan or Ray or any of those kids, that it was more important for us to be successful as a group than it is to worry about what your stat line looked like, and the idea of working hard for each other. And it's carried over, and you have to give a lot of credit to our leaders, Derek and Eric, but also some kids that maybe didn't play a lot last year, but are also captains for us in Morgan Nygaard and Jagger Gunville, kids that were there, saw how things went and want to see it repeated. They want to continue to have that feeling, and not so much of winning, but going to practice and enjoying it and recognizing the work and getting better. And, you have to give them a lot of credit for their willingness to say, this is how we're going to do it. Here's how we're going to handle ourselves. And, All right, like I said, our kids are growing into that.
Well, yeah, and I think, you touch on that, Dean, because one of the comments you made, in the Hoopster was that you work to play as a team and create a culture that is based on playing with great effort and playing for each other. And I think you just touch on that as saying that that's really maybe what a lot of these younger kids, obviously Dissett and Wentz and some others being a part of last year, but really you can start to see that flowing over into this group as you get deeper into this season.
Well, I hope so, and Scott, it's been a challenge at times because you take for granted when kids are older, juniors and seniors, they've been through a lot of things. They've been, playing sophomore basketball and freshman basketball. It's helped them kind of prepare. You start throwing freshmen and you start throwing sophomores, and you're putting a lot on their plate. I mean, first of all, the length of practice, the structure of practice, the intensity of games, and everything else. And I can't stress enough how important leadership is to that. And it's not us. It's not us as coaches. It's having older kids like Derek. Like, we've had practice this year where things are going wrong, and they've just said, "Give me a minute," and they'll pull the kids aside themselves. And not light them up, not scream, but basically explain to them, this isn't good enough. This isn't how we're doing things. This isn't the way Minot High basketball works. And they work on fixing it themselves. And you want to talk about a great thing as a coach, that you take one of those things off your plate, that you're not sitting there freaking out about, effort, and you can just worry, and you can literally just worry about teaching the game and coaching and getting kids in the right spot. It really does make it a ton easier. You know, and I even look at Bismarck High. I would doubt very sincerely that Jordan very often has to get after his kids. You look at how hard they play. I mean, you can't tell me a team plays that hard. And, he's creating a culture with what he's doing. And I think it's spilling over into their younger teams as well.
Yeah, as we're talking with Dean WINCZEWSKI, the head coach of the Minot High boys basketball team. And, Dean, I'm going to go back to that game January 7th. And Bismarck High comes to your place, not an easy place to play. 79-67, you beat them. I mean, what was the recipe in that game? I mean, here's a team that's been putting up 100 points. Century and Bismarck High go toe-to-toe. It's 100 points on each side. It's a 2 3-point ball game. I mean, what was the recipe for you in that game? And I mean, or was it just the kids and how well they played?
Well, I felt like we had a game plan of trying to control tempo a little bit. We didn't want a game with 92 or whatever.
Yeah.
I think Jordan said there were 92 or 96 whatever possessions against Century. We don't want that. I mean, we want to play fast. Don't kid yourself. But we can't play that tempo against Bismarck High. I mean, they're so good at that, and they're so schooled in it. And we felt like if we were able to take care of the ball and execute offensively, that we could get shots that we wanted.
Sure.
And we thought we could get situations. We did. We didn't turn it over the second half. I think we had like 12 of our 18. First half, I thought we did a great job of taking care of it. We got open shots, and we were able to build a lead. And then we rebounded. Not very often because of how hard Bismarck kids plays and how hectic it is and how, frantic they make you. They get on the offensive glass really well. We were able to control early. They were able to get on the glass, but as the half wore on, first half, we were able to limit second chances. And then you take a generational talent like TREYSON. I mean, he's as good a player as I've seen in the West region, maybe ever. I mean, he's a phenomenal player. You can't let him go bananas. And so, we junked it up a little bit and tried to get it out of his hands as much as we could. And, we were able to have their other kids miss some shots. And like I said, we had kids played well. I mean, Derek Dissett his first half was phenomenal. And then Jagger Gunville had a great game. And really it's a lot of balance for us. And so, a lot of it was just trying to play the way we wanted and not getting frantic. When teams press like that, they want you not only physically playing hard, but they want you mentally getting out of what you want to do. And I thought our kids did a great job of staying with what we wanted and how we wanted to attack. And, we were fortunate to get out of there with a win.
Yeah, big win in that. As Dino, as you get set for Williston today and the rest of the way, I mean, maybe real quick, I got about a minute or so left with you. I mean, what does your team need to do to continue to get better as you move into that tournament time?
Well, we've got to continue to work defensively. We've had a nice start defensively. I like, you look at all the metrics and our points per game and our points per possession and everything else like that are really solid, and field goal percentage against. I think we've got a ton of room to grow offensively. Obviously we do a lot through Derek and Eric right now, but we're starting to see Jagger Gunville and Morgan Nygaard and Logan Conklin's had a tremendous year for us. You start to see those kids grow and using the skills that they have, and a lot of it's just getting used to playing at that speed. And our freshmen have a long way to go. I think Jalen Martinez is a sophomore that can get more time, and it's a matter of just getting used to playing. And we've got, like I said, I think we've got a long way to go offensively. And now it's just a matter of continuing to go to practice with the right attitudes. And there's going to be bumps in the roads for us. Don't kid yourself. Our league's too good. It's too balanced for us to roll through the rest of it. I think we'll have a shot in every game. I think we'll have an opportunity to compete, and then it's just a matter of doing the little things you have to. But we've got to go to practice every day with the idea to get better and control what we can.
Well, certainly it's a hell of a start for you guys right now as where you sit, and I know a big one coming up Tuesday. We'll have that on the PSP network. And, Dino, looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday. Get in the gym today and tomorrow and Monday before you come on down, and then we'll see how you look from up above down below in that suit that you're going to be sporting on Tuesday, all right?
I also noticed that my hair is going, so if you look from too high above, you're probably going to see a little bald spot back there. So let's not pay too much of attention to me, and we can focus more on the kids.
All right, sounds good, my friend. Hey, good luck this afternoon. We'll see you coming up on Tuesday, all right?
All right, thanks, Scott. Have a good one.
Hey, you too, buddy. Take care. Dean WINCZEWSKI, the head coach of the MINOT High boys basketball team. They get set to take on the Williston Coyotes this afternoon at 4:30 up in Minot. We'll take another timeout. We come back. We'll talk with head coach of the Garrison Troopers girls basketball team, Matt Chase, back with more after this timeout on Overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
This broadcast presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by BNC National Bank, Planning Team Financial, Sport Clips, Tires Plus, Bismarck LASIK, First Western Bank and Trust, Jobbers Moving and Storage, The Medicine Shop, Hub International Insurance, The Chuppy Clinic, and Prairie Rose Family Dentists.
The best part about working at BNC National Bank is developing relationships.
I love working with people.
We've been here for over 25 years.
We've grown just like our communities we're in.
But we still have that personal connection with our customers.
And that's why we can find the best solutions for them.
It feels great seeing projects around the community and knowing we're a small part of making that happen.
We're helping people buy their first homes.
Plan for the future.
From startups to big business.
We're part of the community.
And we're proud of it.
Yours truly, BNC.
If your eyes could talk, they'd tell you life is better with LASIK. No more reaching for your glasses. No more dry eye from overwearing your contact lenses. Right now, Bismarck LASIK is offering free consultations for LASIK procedures. Break free from the daily hassles and expenses of glasses and contacts. Life is clearly better. Book your free consultation today with Bismarck LASIK and see the difference. Call 222-2020 or schedule online at bismarcklasik.com.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Let's go back to the stadium and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Yeah, welcome back to the Stadium Lodge. Scott Woodmansee with you live. Glad to have you aboard here on the PSP Network. Hey, you're looking for a place to watch the NFL football today, make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon. Full-service menu, drink specials going on throughout the day. Lots of TVs, as Danny and the staff will certainly take care of you up here at the Stadium Lodge. As we roll into our next guest, we stay on the hardwood And we turn our attention to the Class B girls side of things. And joining me on the phone right now is the head coach of the number 7th ranked team in the state of North Dakota, the Garrison Troopers, Matt Chase. Matt, good morning. How are you this morning?
Doing well, Woody. Excited to talk some hoops with you.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Matt, certainly you got to feel pretty pleased with your start. But, let's go back, as I like to do with the coaches. I know we're in the middle of January, and, we got through the holidays, and now really it's full throttle. But let's go back to when you guys started practice and coming into this season, coming off a year last year where, you guys were 18-5, third in the district. But certainly you're coming off a team that's had some success. A number of your girls part of that volleyball team that made the state tournament coming in. I mean, what were your thoughts going into the start of this year about what kind of team you were going to have?
Well, like I said, I had the same group back, and we really worked hard this summer. And so I knew what kind of talent I had. And, those volleyball girls, I think there was 5 or 6 of them, they missed that week of practice. And when they started, you could tell that the whole conditioning side of it was, they were behind the 8 ball a little bit. But man, I'm a big believer in that. Winning is contagious, and they brought that over. They brought that winning attitude over, and it was just really exciting for the all the programs at our high school and the community. And yeah, they did a really good job, and it's really carried over. So they're starting to get their legs under them now. So yeah, it's been really good. And I've always stressed that we needed to start games better. That was our biggest thing. And so far now we're middle of the season. We're to do that. I think the sky's the limit for us.
And Matt, when you talk about, when you say that you worked really hard this summer, and I know there's a number of things that go into that, but what are some of the things that maybe you did, or maybe these girls did, that maybe they haven't done before or seen before, if there was any?
Yeah, I really pound individual skills, Scott. We go 2 to 3 days a week in the summer. We go for about 2 hours, and I'm really proud of these girls. I mean, you can tell they really want it. I mean, we got the lake right here with us. I mean, they could be doing so many different things, and they choose to come in because we all have the same goal in mind. And going back to the individual skill set aspect of it, I feel like if you develop that individual skill set, you're allowed to play so much, freer, and it allows me to just let you play basketball. And I think I got 7, 8 kids that really have that, and it's showing. They put the work in, and yeah, it's just awesome. Good group of kids.
Well, yeah, and certainly, coming in this year, obviously, we have all the you look at, and I don't know how much time or effort you put into it, but when you look at the hoopster and the Miss Hoopster had you, in the preseason power poll at 27, and then certainly, you were picked in that Region 5, as the third team in that Region 5 behind Shiloh, Wilton, Wing, and Garrison. And we all know that right now, Shiloh number 10 in the poll. And certainly, I guess it's fair to say, Matt, that's going to be the hurdle that you're going to have to climb.
Yeah, you got Shiloh, and Central McLean's a good basketball team, too. I think they've kind of been flying under the radar. They're kind of like us last year, right? We're really young, and not a lot of people know about us. And I knew we just had a battle with Central McLean on Tuesday. We went to overtime, Woody, and it was a hard battle. But they were tied with Shiloh at halftime too a couple weeks ago. They're going to be right in there as well. But yeah, the girls, you go back to that ranking. I'm getting texts from all my girls. 27th in the state poll. Let it happen. It's okay to fly under the radar. But you know what? Now we're everyone's big game now.
Yep.
And like I said, the community's excited. The girls are excited. It's just awesome to be a part.
Matt, when folks come and watch the Lady Troopers get on the floor, what are folks going to see? What kind of style of basketball does Matt Chase and the Troopers like to play up in Garrison?
Yeah, we love. I mean, it starts on the defensive end for us. We play a hard pack line, man-to-man defense. We've been slowly throwing on a press full court, but my girls, god dang, they're so aggressive, and they, with that comes fouls, and they're getting better with it. But yeah, we're fast paced. We want to get up and down the floor. I have athletes, I have shooters, I have posts. Yeah, it's really fun basketball to watch. So. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's as fast-paced as I think a Class B girls basketball team can be.
Well, and you talked about, the posts and the players, and there's no surprise. I mean, had a great volleyball season, but, Carly Klein coming back at last year, averaging 14 and 12 for you, had 40 blocks for you last year. And then you look at the other stat line, 53 steals, 33 assists, and 40 blocks, and averaging the double-double. Boy, I tell you what, I'd say that's a pretty good all-around game. And then Cedar Perkins, obviously, Matt, you're two leaders there for you. But as we sit and talk today on January 15th, I mean, have you seen some other girls maybe get into the mix that maybe you weren't quite sure what they were going to bring to the table? And if so, have you been able to create a little bit of depth as you move closer to tournament time?
Yeah, Mia Gearing, Katie Zook, I mean, they put in a lot of work, and they were good players last year. Don't forget. But,
sure.
Scoring so many points, and Carly demands so much attention. It kind of takes away from them. But, man, Mia's averaging close to 15 points a game this year, and Katie's right around 10. And Maddie Hurt's another senior. She's a captain for me. She does things that you necessarily don't show up in the stat line, but, she's really assertive, and she kind of seems to be in the right place at the right time. And I got two sisters, the Schler girls, and, they've been putting in big-time minutes for us. And Carissa Bayless, last year I could only go 6-7 deep just because of experience purposes. And now, I can go 8 deep. And that's big when you're in a small town like this and you're playing Class B girls basketball. If you got 8 kids that you can throw in and mix and match and not lose a whole lot, it's a good problem to have.
Well, and I think too, it's Matt. It's when you talked about the young lady and Maddie Hurt. I mean, I think it's fair to say that whether it's a boys team or a girls team, I think every team needs to have one of those type of players that just does the little things that as you said may not stand out. Whether it's guarding the other player's best player, or whether it's getting assists or getting some steals or making a big defensive play. I mean, in the end, I'll tell you what, that adds up, and that means a whole lot to a basketball program.
No, absolutely does. And I have a couple kids like that. Carissa Bayless too. Girls that don't score points, and like I said, their name doesn't show up in a lot of places. But you know what? They're getting on the floor. They're setting screens for our shooters. They're doing all the little things. And actually, my whole group, that's what I've been preaching to these guys. I'm like, you guys are already really good basketball players. You're already good athletes. It's the little things. It's boxing out, taking the charge. It's getting on the floor. It's helping your teammate up. You do those things. The basketball part of it's going to take care of itself. So
we're talking with Matt Chase, the head coach of the Garrison, the Lady Troopers. They're 9-0 on the season, number 7 in the state, moving up 2 spots. And Matt, when you look at where you're at right now, 9 games under your belt, and obviously more to come, and I don't care who it is, any coach you talk to, whether it's in the West region or whoever it is, they're going to tell you that they want to be playing their best basketball as you get closer to March. In your mind right now, Matt, is this team playing their best basketball right now, or do you see that this team can improve a lot more and get a lot better as you continue throughout the rest of the regular season?
Yeah, I think that there's certain things that we can get better at. Our transition offense hasn't been the best, so we've been really working on that. And like I said about the whole press thing, our girls are so active, and they're so athletic, and I can go a little bit deeper this year, so I'd like to just be able to throw a press on a little bit more, and we've been really trying to focus on that, but we've only been able to do it in spurts just because we can't. Those dang guards, it's a good thing. They're wired to just go, but you have to. I always tell them, active feet, smart hands. Just, you don't have to, your presence alone is going to cause turnovers. So if we can throw something like that on and stay out of foul trouble with our length and our athletes and our depth, that'd be ideal. Like I said, we got the whole offensive thing down, I believe.
Well, yeah, it certainly appears that way as the start that you're on, and we're just about a minute or so left with you, Matt. And Matt, when you look at this team, when you guys, obviously the ultimate end-all, be-all goal is that state championship, and obviously you've got a team that a bunch of girls are part of that volleyball team that made the state tournament in the volleyball side. What kind of goals did you guys set at the start of this season for this basketball team?
Well, when we got knocked off in the region semifinals last year, the goals were pretty clear. We got to get and that's all we have talked about all summer long. We've been together. Every practice is surrounding, a game-like atmosphere like Central McLean or Shiloh, because you got to beat those two teams. And I don't count Wilton out. Don't count Grant County out. They got great coaches too, but I'm just saying you prepare for those top teams. That way you're never underprepared. And to get to a state tournament would be great, and then you just can't be okay with just getting there, right? So, yeah, I think we all have the same goal in mind, and I think it's extremely achievable as long as we stay on the same page and correct the little things that we gotta work on.
Well, it certainly appears that way, Matt, as you guys are off to a hell of a start right now, and certainly keep it going. We'll be following you the rest of the way, and congratulations on the great start. Thanks for your time this morning. Appreciate it as always. Good luck the rest of the way, Matt, and we'll talk again soon, all right?
Thanks, Woody. Have a good weekend.
All right, you got it, buddy. Take care. Matt Chase, the head coach of the Lady Troopers girls basketball team, as they are undefeated at 9-0 on the season, and they are ranked 7th in the state of North Dakota. We'll take another timeout. We come back. We'll flip to the Class B boys side, and we'll talk, coming off a big win last night, we'll talk with head coach Brad Miller from Shiloh. Back with more after this timeout. You're listening to Overtime with Scott Woodmansee on the PSP Network.
This broadcast presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by BNC National Bank, Planning Team Financial, Sport Clips, Tires Plus, Bismarck LASIK, First Western Bank and Trust, Jobbers Moving and Storage, The Medicine Shop, Hub International Insurance, The Chuppy Clinic, and Prairie Rose Family Dentists.
The best part about working at BNC National Bank is developing relationships.
I love working with people.
We've been here for over 25 years.
We've grown just like our communities we're in.
But we still have that personal connection with our customers.
And that's why we can find the best solutions for them.
It feels great seeing projects around the community and knowing we're a small part of making that happen.
We're helping people buy their first homes.
Plan for the future.
From startups to big business.
We're part of the community.
And we're proud of it.
Yours truly, BNC.
If your eyes could talk, they'd tell you life is better with LASIK. No more reaching for your glasses. No more dry eye from overwearing your contact lenses. Right now, Bismarck LASIK is offering free consultations for LASIK procedures. Break free from the daily hassles and expenses of glasses and contacts. Life is clearly better. Book your free consultation today with Bismarck LASIK and see the difference. Call 222-2020 or schedule online at bismarcklasik.com.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Memories never fade, especially from a high school rivalry game. Hi, I'm Brock Shook with First Western Bank and Trust. Throughout school sports history, the familiar names and faces may change, but legacies live on, achievements remembered. As your community bank, First Western Bank and Trust celebrates your victories with you. We want to wish all the local teams good luck in their athletic endeavors this season. Be safe on the court, field, rink, and in the gym. First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You remember where this goes?
I don't know.
Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zzz, zzz?
I think your quash litter valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance?
If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Inspections are free to ensure your vehicle is always in peak condition.
Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
The North Dakota Safety Council is dedicated to preventing injuries and saving lives by offering hundreds of safety courses. The NDSC helps workers return home safely every night and make sure schools are ready for any emergency. Our first aid training and defensive driving courses help save lives. We empower people through personal protection courses and operational risk assessments for businesses. We're a private, nonprofit organization committed to making North Dakota's homes, schools, communities, workplaces, and roads the safest in the nation. Learn more at ndsc.org.
Let's go back to the stadium and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Welcome back to the Stadium Lodge. Glad to have you aboard this morning on the PSP Network. Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. Hey, if you're looking for a place to watch some NFL this afternoon, make the Stadium Lodge your home. Full-service menu specials going on, as Danny and the staff will certainly take care of you up here at the Stadium Lodge, not to mention a number of TVs. Well, we stay on the basketball court, and we turn from the Class B girls side to the Class B boys side, and joining me right now is the head coach of the Shiloh Christian Skyhawks, Brad Miller. Coach, good morning. How are you this morning?
Good, Scott. Pretty good.
Well, Brad, I guess first and foremost, you guys are off to a 7-2 start. But before we talk about the win last night, a big one over a team out of Region 7. Let's go back to the start of this season, Brad. Coming in, what did you know about your basketball team, and how were your thoughts, you and the coaching staff, as you got this 21-22 season underway?
Well, we were anticipating that we were going to have some good depth this year with kids that can play. We had a lot of kids come out at Shiloh this year, got 32 in high school. So between the C and the JV and the varsity, we got a lot of kids out, and got a number of kids who can play varsity basketball. But obviously you can only play 5 at a time. So numbers help you up to a certain point. But, so we were anticipating that we were going to have a decent team. We've got some nice size this year inside in our post players. So,
yeah, and you talk about that size, and we saw it on display last night in Carter, England, and Wanzik. And I don't care who you are, Brad. Anytime that you can bring 2 kids and put 2 kids on the floor, one at 6'6", one at 6'7". I mean, that's got to give you a pretty good feeling as you go into the season as a head coach.
Yeah, exactly. We figured that our advantage against most teams is going to be our inside play. Unless you're playing teams like Kindred, who can put 3 6'6" guys and a couple 6'5" guys on the floor at the same time. It's probably not an advantage in a game like that, but otherwise, against most people, it is.
Well, yeah, it certainly is, and Brad, you talk about that, and I think the history goes back to what you do, when you set your schedule, and you set your schedule in a way that you're getting a crack at some of these teams that that are going to be potential state tournament teams, and you talk about Dickinson Trinity and Bishop Ryan and Langdon, some teams you've already played, but I mean, boy, how important, Brad, is that for your kids when you get to that end of the season and now into the Super Region tournament?
Well, I think it's real important to play some tough out-of-region games, and we do that. Try to get our kids ready, and then these good teams will expose you. Your team, if they're bad at something, they'll show it. They'll make it come out, and then we can work on that in practice. And hopefully you get a few wins against some of these good teams, so you can build some confidence in your group. Like last year, we had a tough schedule, and we came out on the short end of the stick on a number of them, and that was really kind of touch and go on the confidence part. But this year so far, we've been playing pretty good. We had a little tough deal with Kindred here a few weeks ago, but then we got beat by Minor Ryan, but we were a little bit unhealthy in that game. So we feel good about where we're at so far.
Yeah, I think you should. You talk about that Kindred game, 52-37, but again, that was right after the Christmas break, Brad, and we all know that. I'm sure there's a lot of factors that could roll into that thing coming out of Christmas break. But I mean, what did you see in that game? And I'll just use Kindred as the benchmark. They're the defending state Class B champions. I mean, what did they do to your guys that really was something that you had to come back and work on to get these kids better after that game?
Well, we've been working on a lot of outside shooting because obviously when you're playing a team that big, they've got big guys just like we do. So we've been trying to get our outside guys to get a little bit better at knocking down outside shots because against a team like Kindred, you're not going to get a lot of inside stuff. So that's one thing we've been working on.
And we're talking with Brad Miller, the head coach of the Shiloh Christian Skyhawks boys basketball team. And Brad, one team on here that pops up is Rapid City Christian. I mean, 53-52. I mean, talk to most people. Rapid City Christian. How did that one develop on your schedule?
Well, we invited them up to our Shiloh shootout, which we have every year. And the last 2 years, we've had Oak Grove, Dickinson, Trinity, us, and Rapid City Christian in that thing. And last year we played them and they beat us by 14. So they had quite a few of their guys back. And we were able to come out with a 1-point win. So we felt pretty good about that one. And they're a good program. I think they play in the middle division down in South Dakota there. So they said they enjoy coming up because they get 2 good games. They play us and then they play Dickinson Trinity. So they get a couple good games when they come up here.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, we go to last night. Beulah comes into town, a team that really you two teams are no strangers to each other. And, and you knew coming in one of the best players in the state of North Dakota, Trey Brandt, coming in. And certainly he, tied things up, sent it into overtime. But you knew Trey Brandt. What was the game plan going into last night, Brad? Knowing the capability that Trey Brandt has and the basketball player that he is. He's one of those guys that, you know what, you're not going to stop him. You just got to hope to contain him.
Yeah. Well, 3 years ago we played him and they beat us. And Trey, when he was a sophomore, he went off and scored about 25 points. And I jokingly told Jeremy after the game, I said, I think I'm going to have to double team your son next year. And so last year we went up to Beulah. We played a diamond and one with a chaser and had the top guy in the zone double it, make him give up the ball. And we ended up sneaking a win out there. But I figured he would probably be ready for that this year. So we just manned him up the whole game and we picked him up full court, chased him, doubled him on screens, and really paid a lot of attention. And he still ended up with, I don't know if it was 39 or 40 points, which is probably the most points that anybody's ever scored against Shiloh. And we did everything we could to slow him down. He's just a good player. And we knew. I told my kids in the locker room before the game, I said, you guys better have a lead going into the fourth quarter because Trey's going to go off in the fourth quarter. He does it. I saw him do it against Enderlin. I saw him do it against Rugby. I saw him do it against Hazen. He just goes off in the fourth quarter. So, and he's very skilled. He's got all kinds of different shots he can make. So we just kind of hung in there and ended up getting into overtime. I was a little bit nervous because we were in foul trouble going into overtime. So, but we ended up getting jumped out and got a lead right away in overtime, so that helped. Yeah,
it certainly did, and I think too, Brad. Watching that game myself last night, and talking the interview you had with Chuck after the game is I think that you probably had some kids step up and make some big shots when they had to for you in that game last night. Talk about some of the younger guys on this team stepping into that role and being able to knock down big shots in a game like that of that magnitude.
Yeah, well, we had Caden England, the freshman. He came in and hit a big three in the fourth quarter for us. Cole Blonsky hit it was a long two in the corner right towards the end of the games. That was a big shot for us as well. And Kyler Klein came off the bench, and we used him as one of the two chasers on Trey Brandt, and he did a really good job defensively. Even though Trey got his points, he made him work for him. And he hit a big shot for us in the first half. So it's nice to see some of these younger guys come in and be able to knock some stuff down.
Yeah, certainly nice to develop that this time of the year when you get to tournament time. And speaking of tournament time, Brad, we just got about a minute or so left with you. Want to get your thoughts on you've been around this region, this district for a number of years, and your thoughts of them finally going into the super region, which will be coming up here in February. Real quick, your thoughts on going to this new format, tournament format, so to speak, to crown that Region 5 champion.
Yeah, this is going to be something new for us because it's first year Super Region, and we've actually only played one region game so far, and we actually played center with our JV team. So our varsity hasn't played any region teams yet. So we're going to get into that schedule next week and play a bunch of those guys. So, and of course, the region up north, or the district that was up north, that's part of our region now. We haven't played a lot of those guys the last few years, so I don't know a lot about those guys, and so we're going to go through that and figure that out. But there's some good teams in our region. Wilton's got a nice squad. They do a good job up there with their coaching. Garrison's got some nice players. Washburn's got a really good coach. He's building a program. And then, of course, on our side, we've got Standing Rock's always got a good team. Flasher's got a really good team this year. They've been blowing everybody out. So I haven't seen them play yet, so I'm going to have to go get a film or something to watch them. But they've been getting into hundreds on some teams. So I'm not sure what he's doing, but it must be something that's working.
Well, I can tell you we had a chance to see him play, Brad, and they certainly are playing well. But nonetheless, it should set up for an interesting Region 5 boys basketball tournament. Brad, hey, appreciate the time this morning, my friend. Take care. Best of luck the rest of the way out, and we'll hopefully get a chance to talk with you again soon, all right?
Okay, thanks, Scott.
You got it, Brad. Brad Miller, the head coach of the Shiloh Christian Skyhawks, is his team a victory last night, 76-68 over the Beulah Miners. We'll see if that win garners them some votes coming up in the this week's Class B basketball poll. Next on the docket, coming up on Tuesday, as they've got to the Hazen Bison come to town. And keep in mind, Hazen knocked off the Beulah Miners about a week or so ago, so that should be an interesting game coming up on Tuesday of this week. We'll take another timeout on the sports show on Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. When we come back, we'll talk with North Dakota's Gatorade Volleyball Player of the Year, and, well, we don't need to talk about her basketball ability. We'll talk with Logan NISSLEY, the junior guard from Central. We come back with more after this timeout on Overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
This broadcast presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by BNC National Bank, Planning Team Financial, Sport Clips, Tires Plus, Bismarck LASIK, First Western Bank and Trust, Jobbers Moving and Storage, The Medicine Shop, Hub International Insurance, The Chuppy Clinic, and Prairie Rose Family Dentists.
The best part about working at BNC National Bank is developing relationships.
I love working with people.
We've been here for over 25 years.
We've grown just like our communities we're in.
But we still have that personal connection with our customers.
And that's why we can find the best solutions for them.
It feels great seeing projects around the community and knowing we're a small part of making that happen.
We're helping people buy their first homes.
Plan for the future.
From startups to big business.
We're part of the community.
And we're proud of it.
Yours truly, BNC.
If your eyes could talk, they'd tell you life is better with LASIK. No more reaching for your glasses. No more dry eye from overwearing your contact lenses. Right now, Bismarck LASIK is offering free consultations for LASIK procedures. Break free from the daily hassles and expenses of glasses and contacts. Life is clearly better. Book your free consultation today with Bismarck LASIK and see the difference. Call 222-2020 or schedule online at bismarcklasik.com.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Memories never fade, especially from a high school rivalry game. Hi, I'm Brock Shook with First Western Bank and Trust. Throughout school sports history, the familiar names and faces may change, but legacies live on, achievements remembered. As your community bank, First Western Bank and Trust celebrates your victories with you. We want to wish all the local teams good luck in their athletic endeavors this season. Be safe on the court, field, rink, and in the gym. First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You remember where this goes?
I don't know.
Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zoo?
I think your quash litter valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance?
If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Inspections are free to ensure your vehicle is always in peak condition.
Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
The North Dakota Safety Council is dedicated to
the
preventing
stadium
injuries
and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Yeah, welcome back to Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. We're live from the Stadium Lodge. Glad to have you aboard this morning on the PSP Network. Hey, if you're looking for somewhere to catch some NFL football today, lots of TVs for you here up at the Stadium Lodge. Full-service menu specials going on throughout the day, as Danny and the fine staff will certainly take care of you up here at the Stadium Lodge. Well, this leads us into our next guest this morning as we stay on the basketball hardwood. Also, we'll touch a little bit on the volleyball. Is joining me on the phone right now is the junior guard from the Century High School Patriots, Logan NISSLEY. Logan, good morning. Thanks for joining me this morning.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Well, you got it, Logan, and certainly first and foremost, congratulations on the most recent accolade that you received, the Gatorade Volleyball Player of the Year in North Dakota. And, boy, Logan, I guess I'll ask you there, first of all, did you anticipate this award coming?
Well, first of all, thank you. And I'm going to be honest, I really was surprised just because there's so many amazing volleyball players from the state of North Dakota. And so when Jamie first told me, she kind of didn't tell me that I got it right away, but she told me that I was nominated. And so I was like kind of surprised, honestly, by that. And then once we started getting into the paperwork and kind of submitting all of my academics and things around the community, then it started to feel a little bit more real. But when it came out, that's when I was like, oh my gosh, like, first of all, it's super cool. It's just, it honestly goes back to being a part of the Century Patriots program. Not many people get to go through a program like this, play for a coach like Jamie, Sarah, all of the assistants, and then play with the people I get to play with. Honestly, it wouldn't have happened without the passes in the back row, the sets from my setters, communication, just an all-around effort by all of the team.
Well, yeah, you're a two-time first-team All-State player in volleyball, a first-team All-State, obviously, basketball player, 357 kills, 361 digs this last year, not to mention another state title. And more important, Logan, when you look at it, you follow in the footsteps of two other young ladies from Century that received the award, Julia Fitter and Lauren Ware. Certainly two gals you know, I'm sure, very well. I mean, just talk about being in that company as well with this when you receive this award.
Lauren, I never really got to play basketball with, but anytime you get to talk to Lauren or get to know Lauren, for me, I played with Lauren in the summers when I was younger, and then I was a freshman when she was a senior, obviously. And so anytime you get to spend that time with Lauren is just something that I've cherished, and I take what Lauren says very seriously because obviously she's very successful. Julia was my rock when she was in high school, my freshman and sophomore year. She was my go-to person. So following in their footsteps is very, very cool to me, very special, just because they're two people that I've looked up to for so long, two people that I've wanted to be just like. And so getting to have the opportunity to share something like this with them is really cool.
Well, that's going to fast forward us into what the season you're in now, the basketball season. And, certainly, obviously, it's no secret. You're highly touted, highly recruited. And I guess before we get into the actual team, I mean, I'm not asking, if you made a decision or where you have, because when the time comes, the time will come. But How has that process gone for you so far, Logan? And during this process, you talked about Lauren Ware. She went through the same thing. Is it somebody that maybe you've had conversations with about how to handle this process?
Oh, 100%. There have been many times where, because honestly, this process gets to be a little stressful at some points. Obviously, very grateful. Couldn't have asked for a better opportunity to grow up with, to have the support system around me to help me and get through it all. But it does get stressful at times, and so going to Lauren has been very special to me just because she has gone through it. I mean, obviously she played in the national championship last year, and so she obviously knows what she's talking about. But just the whole recruiting process is something that is super awesome. You get to make relationships with people that you'd never know if it weren't for the sport of basketball. And so the relationships is my biggest thing. When I make my decision, I'm obviously going to look at academics, their basketball program, things like that. But the thing that is most important to me is my relationships that I have with those coaches, and then getting to talk to some of their players that I'll play with too, because that's going to be my home away from home for 4 years, hopefully. And so just making those relationships, and like you said, that time will come when I make my decision. And so that's about it for right now. That's kind of what I'm going off of.
Yeah, and certainly when you go through this, obviously, I'm sure mom and dad have been a big part of this as well, and certainly that's your support right now. And as you said, you know, when you make that decision, I mean, it's going to be your home away from home for 4 years. But I'm sure mom and dad have been played a pretty good role and been pretty good in this whole process as well, have they not?
Oh yeah, my parents have definitely been. We've had tears of joy, tears of sadness through this whole recruiting process, all three of us, don't get me wrong. But the person that's probably been one of the most, not surprising, but one of my biggest partners in crime with this whole thing is definitely my little brother.
Sure.
He has some inside information about all these colleges that he does research on, and sometimes he'll be like, well, you wouldn't fit in there, and just kind of those little things that us three don't really think about because we're so caught up in this process. But he has some of those little tidbits for us that really just kind of make us stop and think and are like, you know what, like, you're right. And so he's definitely been my biggest support system through it all.
Well, certainly a family effort. And Logan, let's go into this year. And I think you know, one of the big things is you started this year coming up in the Century program, only in junior yet, got another year left. That's really scary, but nonetheless. You know, how has I'm just gonna, you know, how has been you know, Ron Metz, the career that he had there, stepped aside. How has that transition been for you? And maybe you can or can't speak for everybody else, but as the girls as a whole, how's that coaching transition been since the start of this year?
Well, obviously we've all known Metz since I was in second, third grade, going to those stars and stripes camps and all of that kind of stuff. And so Metz was really important to all of us. So watching him step down was very hard. And then Wing too, he's been important to all of us. So he's out at West Fargo Cheyenne now, and so good for him. But I honestly don't think that it's been much of a struggle for all of us getting to know our new coaching staff. I've known Wellstead and then Thornton and Maddie Kress now, but Mike Wolf, Trisha Sorensen, they're all great basketball minds. And so putting them together with all of us girls, really, there hasn't been much downside to it. Other than the fact of like getting to know different personalities a little bit. But that hasn't been a struggle at all. It's been super fun. This summer when we were doing team camps, and then when we were doing just our like camps at Century with just us girls, it was always fun. This whole year of practice already has been just fun. We really try and get to work. There's no laying off. We don't have a lot of like pregame where we don't do much. We always are at practice, getting to work, focusing on getting dirty, getting our hands and feet in that in the grittiness, that kind of stuff. So it honestly, I don't know. I mean, obviously I can't speak the minds of all the girls,
sure,
but there hasn't been any problems, and it's just been a lot of fun so far. So I'm excited for my next year and this year to finish it off too.
Well, you certainly you guys have not missed a beat, and we just got about a minute or so left of you, Logan. And I guess I'll ask you the question, when you look at this, and yeah, you're only a junior, but let's just say that you're probably one of the veterans of this basketball team, and what kind of a role have you had to take on maybe this year versus last year as far as of that leadership role?
I think last year I had a lot of veterans in front of me. Obviously Julia, Joss, Megan, Mac. We had a bunch of seniors, Gabby Rush. And so that kind of following their footsteps. But now this year, we don't have that 8 experienced seniors that played in the state tournament last year and the year before that. And so I think this year I just really try and bring that calmness and the reliability to my teammates, that I'm going to do my best to show off all the things that I've worked for and get a win for my team, not necessarily by myself, because it's not a selfish game. Basketball is definitely not a game of one person. It's a team effort. And so I think just really getting that trust with my teammates, that they run the floor, they set a down screen, like they're going to be open and I'll find them. Just the reliability, like I said, just having that trust within our team is really big for us. Yeah, well, you certainly can see it on the floor. Well, young lady, hey, appreciate your time this morning. Best of luck to you the rest of the way out. Congratulations on the award. And, we'll look forward to watching the rest of the way this year and next year. And best of luck in the recruiting process. I'm sure no matter where the hell you go, Logan, everybody in Bismarck's going to be following you. But, again, thank you for your time. Have a great rest of the weekend, and we'll see you in the gym soon, all right? Yes, you too. Thank you for having me. All right, you got it. Logan NISSLEY, junior guard from Century High School, most recent Gatorade Volleyball Player of the Year. Boy, I tell you what, very, very well-spoken young lady. And the future is extremely bright for Logan NISSLEY as she continues her track at Century High School in the basketball season. We'll take another timeout. We come back. We'll talk with another student athlete. We'll talk with TREYSON EAGLESTAFF from Bismarck High. Back with more on Overtime with Scott Woodmansee after this timeout.
This broadcast presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by BNC National Bank, Planning Team Financial, Sport Clips, Tires Plus, Bismarck LASIK, First Western Bank and Trust, Jobbers Moving and Storage, The Medicine Shop, Hub International Insurance, The Chuppy Clinic, and Prairie Rose Family Dentists.
The best part about working at BNC National Bank is developing relationships.
I love working with people.
We've been here for over 25 years.
We've grown just like our communities we're in.
But we still have that personal connection with our customers.
And that's why we can find the best solutions for them.
It feels great seeing projects around the community and knowing we're a small part of making that happen.
We're helping people buy their first homes.
Plan for the future.
From startups to big business.
We're part of the community.
And we're proud of it.
Yours truly, BNC.
If your eyes could talk, they'd tell you life is better with LASIK. No more reaching for your glasses. No more dry eye from overwearing your contact lenses. Right now, Bismarck LASIK is offering free consultations for LASIK procedures. Break free from the daily hassles and expenses of glasses and contacts. Life is clearly better. Book your free consultation today with Bismarck LASIK and see the difference. Call 222-2020 or schedule online at bismarcklasik.com.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Memories never fade, especially from a high school rivalry game. Hi, I'm Brock Shook with First Western Bank and Trust. Throughout school sports history, the familiar names and faces may change, but legacies live on, achievements remembered. As your community bank, First Western Bank and Trust celebrates your victories with you. We want to wish all the local teams good luck in their athletic endeavors this season. Be safe on the court, field, rink, and in the gym. First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You remember where this goes?
I don't know. Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zoom?
I think your quash litter valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance?
If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Inspections are free to ensure your vehicle is always in peak condition.
Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
The North Dakota Safety Council is dedicated to preventing injuries and saving lives by offering hundreds of safety courses. The NDSC helps workers return home safely every night and make sure schools are ready for any emergency. Our first aid training and defensive driving courses help save lives. We empower people through personal protection courses and operational risk assessments for businesses. We're a private, nonprofit organization committed to making North Dakota's homes, schools, communities, workplaces, and roads the safest in the nation. Learn more at ndsc.org.
Let's go back to the stadium and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Welcome back to the Stadium Lodge. Scott Woodmansee with you. Glad to have you aboard on Overtime with Scott Woodmansee on the PSP Network. As, hey, if you're looking for a place this afternoon, lots of TVs for you up here. Football games starting later this afternoon into this evening. Make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon, as Danny and the staff will certainly take care of it up here. Full-service menu specials going on throughout the day. Come on up to the Stadium Lodge in Northwest Bismarck. We roll into our next guest this morning, another local student athlete, and joining me on the line right now is the senior, we'll just call him guard, forward, center. He can play anywhere you want him to play, and from Bismarck High, TREYSON EAGLESTAFF. TREYSON, good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, TREYSON. Thanks for joining me this morning. And TREYSON, before we get into talking about this basketball season that we're in right now, your senior season, where you're having a hell of a season. But let's go back to, TREYSON, when you made the commitment before you started your senior year to attend UND. And I guess the first question I'll ask you, TREYSON, is how many was it always the University of North Dakota? Were there other schools involved, and how easy was it for you to select the University of North Dakota?
Yeah, so I got talked to by, I would say, like 13 Division I schools before I committed. And, I was, in close contact with them. But, right when I got my offer, I wanted to commit right away. My mom, told me, she's like, wait it out. What if you, make the decision now and you, regret it? You never know. So I was, waiting. So I played a few AAU tournaments. And before, because there was a dead period, so no one could come watch your games and stuff.
Sure.
So before I played a live event, I was like, Mom, I want to do it. I'd like to see a fit. I was like, the coaches are always talking to me. I was like, I built such a strong connection with them, and I was like, I just see myself going here. I'm like, it's close to you too. So if you ever need anything, I'm just a drive away. I'm like, so I was like, I think I'm gonna do it. So I was at Pizza Ranch with my friends, and I was like, Mom, I'm gonna do it now. There's no point in waiting. So I just, she's like, hey, if you really want to. So I called up Sather, and I was like, I want to be on the call with you. So I had to make sure she was on the call with me and Sather at Pizza Ranch, and she was at Mulhall, because that's where I grew up at.
Sure.
So she was in Mulhall, I was at Pizza Ranch, and then Sather, I was like, I think he was with his family, 4th of July, and then we called him up, and I committed.
Well, it's certainly an interesting story where this whole thing, TREYSON, you don't find, I'm guessing you're probably one of the few kids that I've heard of, and for that matter, that's made a commitment sitting in Pizza Ranch.
Yeah. I was with all my friends, too, and, we just got done playing fives. Joel Hilbert from Enderlin came up, Trey Brandt came up, and we all just, got done running fives, and I was like, let's go to Pizza Ranch. And then I was talking to Joe, and I was like, yeah, I'm doing it. He's like, no way. I was like, yeah. So I go to the other room, and I just did it, and everyone's laughing at me.
And TREYSON, I'll ask you, when you look at it, I mean, why the University of North Dakota? Now, obviously, you've got some ties there. Your grandfather, Bob Eaglestaff, played there back in the 70s, set a school record, scoring 69 points in a game. And did that have anything to do with the commitment to the University of North Dakota?
I mean, there's definitely something behind that, like the culture and stuff. And like he went there, and like I was like named after him. He's like my idol growing up. Like I remember like when I went on the res, and like they had like this book at my Unchi's house. Like there's this book of him and like all the stuff he did. And he was just like a great guy. And I was like, I want to be like this guy when I grew up. And the fact that he went there and like they offered me, I was like, this is like family ties. Like I want to go there. Like he did too. It was like I feel a connection. And ever since growing up, like when I was in 6th grade, it was like the Grand Dam tournament, and our traveling team was really good. And I remember playing at the Betty, and I was like, I would love to play here someday. Like this is like a dream of mine.
Well, certainly, congratulations on that, and I know there's going to be a lot of people in North Dakota or in North Dakota that are going to be following you throughout that career. And when you wanted to do this, did you want to get this over with before the start of your final of your senior season of high school basketball?
Yeah, my AAU coach, I played on a traveling team called Dealer, Minnesota. It was like Adidas team. I talked to him, and I was like, what when do you think I should commit? He's like, if you really set your eyes on something, like if you really want to go to uni, he's like, do it right away. He's like, do whatever your heart feels like. That's what I always tell my kids. And then he's like, but like if not, like wait until our AU season's over, like coaches watch you and stuff, and like make a decision before like the scholarship you're taking up. And I was like, hey, I think I'm ready. He's like, okay, then do it. And I committed.
Well, yeah, certainly, and I'm sure Coach Sather. I mean, what was the reaction of Coach Sather when you called him? Not only from Pizza Ranch, but he's with his family. I'm guessing it had to be a pretty exciting phone call.
Yeah, I remember calling him, and I called him right away. I was like, can we add my mom to this call? I was like, I'm sorry, she wanted to get added. And she's like, yeah, of course. And I was like, okay. So like I had to add her and stuff, and I was like, and like finally like I had her added, and I was like, hey. He's like, I think I'm gonna commit today. And he's like, Treyson, he's like, we'd love to have you. He's like, you're a great kid. He's like, your talent is like really good. He's like, I can't wait to see you at UND. I was like, thanks, coach, I appreciate it. And then he like texted, he's like, called me after, and my mom was talking, and he's like, Erica, you know about this? And then she's like, yep. And I was like, I wanted to do it with him, so I just got added to the call. And then he was like, thanks, Trey, you made my 4th of July weekend. And I was like, that meant a lot. I was like, thanks.
Well, certainly a great story there. And Trey, hey, let's go into this basketball season. I mean, certainly a great start for you. Leading the West region and scoring 31.6. But it's clearly proven in watching you play in probably one of the best high school games I've seen, you and against Century, is that you've really developed your game and just all around, from passing the basketball to not only scoring the basketball like you do so well, and just talk about your overall improvement that you've made from last year to this year.
So last year, I had good response to the Max Shostak. So I kind of felt like relaxed when I was ever on the floor. Like I felt like I didn't need to do as much, but like just to like work my butt off, But like when they left, like I'd realized, like I was asking my teammates to come to the gym during the summer, and they focused on football more and stuff because like basketball wasn't their sport. And I was like, hey, well, I don't want to like come out my senior year and just like lose every game. So like during the summer, I would like text a bunch of people like they wanted to play games, like go to the gym with me, and like I would just feel like just be around the sport a lot, like just like the ball in your hand a lot just like helps you with the game. Like even like I would go to the Y for like 6 hours, like maybe like I'd like just make an hour off of like just dribbling around and like talk to people, like shooting around, and like just like being around the game. And then in the fall, I'd wake up every morning before school at like 6, and I'd ask Willie if he can go shoot with me. I was like, can I get the gun out? Because we just got a shooting gun this year for the first time. So I'd take this freshman with me. I'd be like, you're coming with me to shoot. He's like, okay.
Wow.
Like after I leave, I wanted to get him, like, make sure the team's good. So I took this freshman with me. I was like, hey, you're going to come shoot with me. He's like, you're the one committed with me right now. So like, let's go get better. He's like, all right. So we go shoot every morning. And then I was like, I remember my first game. Man, then I was so tired. I was like, I really miss Mass Chosky right now. I was like, I really wish. I was like, I took it for granted. I was like, this is hard. This is way harder than I thought it was. And then I remember I told Blue after the game, he's like, miss our senior class? Is like, I miss just Gunner clamping everyone up and Max just going to get a bucket whenever he wanted. I was like, all this is just so hard. I was not ready to get face guarded like right away.
Well, certainly. I mean, obviously we've seen that in Game 1, and that's certainly carried over since that game. But just talk. I mean, and what you guys have done so far, the style of basketball you play. I mean, that's right up your alley, Treyson. And certainly, what's the biggest improvement? We just got about a minute or so left of you. What's the biggest improvement do you think in your own mind that you made from last year to this year?
I would probably say like ball handling and like my court vision. Like last year, I just got the ball and shot everything. Like I'd have to worry about bringing the ball up and like making sure like I got everyone else shots, but like I didn't have to like focus on like getting everyone open for like helping the team out. Like this year, like I have to bring the ball up and like last few games, I get like double teamed and stuff, and I have to make sure like my teammates are open, make the right pass, can't just turn over the ball. So I'd say like my ball handling and like just like court vision overall. It's like improved a lot.
Yeah, you certainly can see that, and we saw that in that Century game as almost near a triple-double in that game. But certainly a great start, Treyson, into your senior season, and congratulations on going to UND. I know one of my colleagues that I work with, Chuck Claremont, UND graduate. He's probably more excited than you were when he saw you sign at the University of North Dakota, but I know he'll be following your career as well, will many others. And hey, Trey, appreciate the time this morning. Best of luck the rest of the way out, and we'll see you in the gym soon, all right?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, you got it. Treyson EAGLESTAFF, senior from Bismarck High, as just off to a great start this season, and I expect that to continue moving towards the end of the season. Going to, and Coach Sather, he's got a dandy coming to the University of North Dakota. We'll take another timeout on the Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. We come back. We'll talk with the head coach at the University of Mary, Jack Nelson, back with more after this timeout.
This broadcast presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by BNC National Bank, Planning Team Financial, Sport Clips, Tires Plus, Bismarck LASIK, First Western Bank and Trust, Jobbers Moving and Storage, The Medicine Shop, Hub International Insurance, The Chuppy Clinic, and Prairie Rose Family Dentists.
The best part about working at BNC National Bank is developing relationships.
I love working with people.
We've been here for over 25 years.
We've grown just like our communities we're in.
But we still have that personal connection with our customers.
And that's why we can find the best solutions for them.
It feels great seeing projects around the community and knowing we're a small part of making that happen.
We're helping people buy their first homes.
Plan for the future.
From startups to big business.
We're part of the community.
And we're proud of it.
Yours truly, BNC.
If your eyes could talk, they'd tell you life is better with LASIK. No more reaching for your glasses. No more dry eye from overwearing your contact lenses. Right now, Bismarck LASIK is offering free consultations for LASIK procedures. Break free from the daily hassles and expenses of glasses and contacts. Life is clearly better. Book your free consultation today with Bismarck LASIK and see the difference. Call 222-2020 or schedule online at bismarcklasik.com.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Memories never fade, especially from a high school rivalry game. Hi, I'm Brock Shook with First Western Bank and Trust. Throughout school sports history, the familiar names and faces may change, but legacies live on, achievements remembered. As your community bank, First Western Bank and Trust celebrates your victories with you. We want to wish all the local teams good luck in their athletic endeavors this season. Be safe on the court, field, rink, and in the gym. First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You remember where this goes?
I don't know.
Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zoo?
I think your quash leader valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance?
If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Inspections are free to ensure your vehicle is always in peak condition.
Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
The North Dakota Safety Council is dedicated to preventing injuries and saving lives by offering hundreds of safety courses. The NDSC helps workers return home safely every night and make sure schools are ready for any emergency. Our first aid training and defensive driving courses help save lives. We empower people through personal protection courses and operational risk assessments for businesses. We're a private, nonprofit organization committed to making North Dakota's homes, schools, communities, workplaces, and roads the safest in the nation. Learn more at ndsc.org.
At Schatz Crossroads, we make 8 gallons of homemade ranch dressing every day, so you can smother your dinner salad with it, dip those crispy golden French fries in it, and dunk your breaded chicken strips. You can even cover your... Wait, no. You can't put ranch on steak. Or can you? Schatz Crossroads. Don't forget the ranch.
Let's go back to the stadium and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Welcome back to the Stadium Lodge. Scott Woodmansee with you. Glad to have you aboard on Overtime with Scott Woodmansee on the PSP Network. We are live from the Stadium Lodge. Hey, if you're looking for a place to watch some football this afternoon, make the Stadium Lodge your home in Northwest Bismarck. As full-service menu, drink specials going on throughout the day. Number of TVs, so football will be running rampant up here at the Stadium Lodge this afternoon. Well, we turn our attention to our final guest this morning, and we stay on the hardwood. And joining me right now is the head coach of the University of Mary men's basketball team, Jack Nelson. Jack, long time no talk. How are you this morning?
Doing pretty well. How about yourself?
Well, pretty good. Well, sir, I think actually we last time we visited with you was right before you got this thing underway, and now you've got it underway, and 5-10 overall, 4-6 in the North Division of the Northern Sun. I guess, Jack, first and foremost, since that last conversation, I mean, things seem to be going pretty good for you.
Yeah, all in all, coaches, we'd always like our record to be better than what it is, short of the handful of teams that haven't lost yet this season. But I'm happy with how it's been going, just as far as kind of establishing what our culture is, what our standard is, and having the guys really buy into it and just show improvement on a daily basis.
Yeah, Jack, and now, as we turn into the new year, 2022, and you had a number of games, leading up to that, and are you seeing that improvement, as you and I sit here and talk this afternoon with Augustana on the schedule here this coming up later today?
Yeah, I think so. There's coaches will always say, like, there's no moral victories in sports and that kind of stuff because – whether or not you played well and lost or played bad and lost, they still go in the same column.
Yeah.
But I do feel like, our last 2 games, last night against Wayne State, last weekend against Southwest Minnesota State, we've played well. We've looked like a team that, belongs in the upper half of the NSIC. But now the next step is to get over the hump, right? Like you gotta come away with victories. So that's the next step for us. Huge task at hand tonight. Augustana, I think they're ranked 23rd in the country or something like that. Really, really good team. Obviously, really good program. Has been to the Final Four and won national title and all that kind of stuff. So they're good. You know, they're big, they're physical. It's going to take a good effort on our part to get done what we need to.
Yeah, certainly Augustana, no stranger to the top of the mountain. You know, when it comes to Division Division II basketball, as they've always been a team that's been in the conversation. But Jack, I guess I'll ask you this question. We had a chance to talk with Rick Newman, and I know that this is your first run as a head coach. And you know, when all of us thought that maybe it was a year or two ago that, you know, we went through the COVID and we went through all this, and lo and behold, here we are. And now you as a head coach are in a battle of dealing with it on a different level probably than you were at as assistant level. I mean, I see you had a game in Sioux Falls. It was canceled, probably ready to go, canceled there. I mean, how has that affected you guys, on the boys' side of things, and how have you been able to combat that, being the head man?
Yeah, you just try to prepare for what's in front of you, and not worry about, like, we might prepare for Team A and that might get canceled.
Yeah.
But you can only, control what you can control and worry about that. Kind of sadly, like, I think the kids are, I hate to say it, but kind of used to it. It's the last couple of years, it's like, well, we might prepare for Sioux Falls and we might not play. We might just have to go play Southwest. So I think us coaches stress out about it, but the big thing that we've tried to talk to our guys a lot about it is just remaining grateful and remaining humble and thankful for the opportunity that we do get to play, and thankful for every chance that we do to get to step on the court.
Yeah, and certainly you said it best. I think, unfortunately, the last thing anybody wanted to say that this might become a norm, but unfortunately right now this has become a norm, and you just, like you said, you got to deal with it day in and daily, and you can't do it weekly or monthly or whatever. It's got to be daily, hourly, every minute and every second of every day, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is. It's just take it day by day and do the best that you can with what you got in front of you. And again, just, it's kind of my daily mantra: control what you can control. You can't control injuries, you can't control illness, you can't control if the other team is sick. Like, you just gotta, see the task at hand and do the best you can with that.
Yeah, tough loss last night, Jack. 76-69, Wayne State in town, and maybe talk a little bit about that game. Just kind of a late game surge, so to speak, for you guys, and lapse, I'll call it. But with that being said, I mean, what are some things maybe you guys got to improve on as you continue through this regular season?
Yeah, the natural progression of us and our team right now is still trying to hunt, putting 40 minutes together. I was really happy with our first half last night. I think we had 10 assists at halftime and only 5 turnovers. And, we ended the game with only 14 assists and 8 turnovers. So the turnover part is great. But we didn't move the ball as much in the second half. And, some credit goes out to Wayne State. They guard you extremely tough and really get after you, but the way that you beat teams like that is by moving the ball quickly and attacking. And, really just for about the first 5 minutes of the second half, I felt like we got away from that and kind of, they went on their run and we kind of went back to making, guys trying to make a play, and their heart is in the right place and, they want to help our team. They can feel that we need it. But in reality, those are the times where you really need to just rely on everything that you've been practicing and moving the ball and attacking and playing together.
Yeah, and you talk about, this Augie team coming in tonight, and unfortunately it's a short turnaround for you guys. But, I mean, what do you do against an Augie team, as you said, that probably outsizes you a little bit? I mean, you junk it up a little bit, or what's kind of the game plan for Coach tonight as you get set for Augie?
Yeah, the big keys for us is, competing with their physicality. We got to match that. We got to play tough and battle inside. I think if we can be great in our transition defense and not let them get easy opportunities in transition, and if we can find a way to win the battle of the rebounds, then I think we'll be okay. You know, that's that's a really tall task, because that might be the two things that Augustana is best at. So it's, you know, we're going to just have to be great there.
Well, sometimes, you know, as they say, Jay, you know, to be the best, you got to beat the best, and then there's no better time to start tonight against a team that's 6-2 in the South and 12-2 overall and ranked in the country.
Yeah, you know, it's these are why we play the game. You know, these are the fun ones. You know, I tell the guys, you know, it wouldn't be fun to win by 20 every game now. That's kind of a lie. I would love to win every game by 20. But it is fun to play against, you know, good competition. And that was part of the reason why I was so excited to get a head coaching job in the NSIC, is because you're going to have great competition night in, night out. And, you know, if we can work our way to being at the top of this league, and kind of where Augustana is now, then, man, we're going to have a chance to compete with anybody in the country, you know, and that's obviously the ultimate goal. So, you know, but tonight we get a chance at Augie. You know, I think I was talking with Brian, our SID. I think it's been about 10 years since we beat a ranked opponent on this floor.
Wow.
So it you know, it'll be a fun challenge for our guys, and we're going to go give it everything we got.
Well, yeah, certainly they're coming in, won their last two, but you said more importantly, there's no better stat right there that you'd like to squash and end that 10-year drought against a pretty good basketball team. And Jack, real quick before we let you go, I know you've had some time now, you settled in, and how's the family liking the community of Bismarck-Mandan?
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, my kids are at an age, you know, my daughter's 7, my son's 5, that they're really enjoying being, you know, at the MAC and at the gym, at practice, at games, really settling into, you know, I think my son's at soccer right now, and my daughter has a basketball game later today. And unfortunately, coaches' kids, you know, sometimes they don't always get me at those games, but I get plenty of Snapchats from my wife during those games that I can watch a little bit of them and stuff like that. So it's been good. You know, we love it here, and looking forward for many years to come.
Well, Jack, hey, appreciate the time as always this morning. Keep up the great work, and we'll do it again soon, my friend, all right?
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
All right, you got it. Jack Nelson, the head men's basketball coach at the University of Mary, as they get set to take on Augustana this afternoon. You're looking for something to do today as well. Go out to the MAC and take in University of Mary basketball out at the MAC men's and women's game today. Well, that's going to do it for another edition of Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. Again, our upcoming schedule: Monday we'll be up in Wilton, center stand at Wilton Wing. Tuesday we're going to have Minot and Century in a boys basketball matchup there. Also, Century at Minot will be on the PSP network in a girls basketball matchup. Also, lots more coming up for you this week on the PSP network, so stay tuned. Like and follow all of our social media platforms as you'll see us all over the social media. We want to thank all our guests this morning: Rick Newman, Dean WINCZEWSKI, also Matt Chase, Brad Miller, Logan NISSLEY, TREYSON EAGLESTAFF, and also to Jack Nelson. Big thanks to Nick Hulberg getting this thing up and rolling this morning. And until next time, Scott Woodmansee saying so long from the Stadium Lodge.
This has been a presentation of the PSP Network. We thank you for listening to Overtime with Scott Woodmansee, live from the stadium. Make sure to head to the social media platforms for the PSP Network to like and follow, to stay up to date with all things sports in Western North Dakota. PSP Network, it's game day.